Angel Reese's latest podcast decision has left her listeners disappointed.
And it seemed like everything went downhill after this interview, bruh. They sick of this Unapologetically Angel podcast. Now, the numbers from the podcast shows that fans are sick of it. Once again, I can't make this up. I'm showing y'all right now. She might need to get Casanat to come on to say this.
I was genuinely shocked when I saw the view count on Angel Reese's newest podcast episodes. We're talking numbers that barely scratch 70 views. That's a massive drop for someone who was once at the center of women's sports conversation. One episode that featured Jada Cheeves and Des Dior didn't even manage to clear 70 views. It sat at a sad 66, and that's not a typo. And the content? A complete shift from basketball to a full hour focused on dating wealthy men. That pivot left her core sports fans wondering if they'd clicked the wrong show by mistake.
Angel Reese's latest podcast decision has left her listeners disappointed, primarily due to her choice of guest. Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, who cares about these people? Honestly.
What started as a dip in engagement turned into a total disaster when Reese clapped back at critics by outright telling them to shut the up. That wasn't just tone deaf, it threw gas on a growing fire. Fans who were already disappointed with the content now started questioning her attitude. It wasn't just bad episodes anymore, it became an issue of character and trust. And immediately, the comparisons to Caitlin Clark started flying in. Clark, with her focused and productive offseason, stood in sharp contrast.
From hosting fellow athletes like Dejanay Carrington, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and basketball legend Lisa Leslie, to musicians like Sexy Red, Glorilla, and more, the Sky Forward received positive feedback from listeners and viewers. However, the most recent episode received mixed reviews.
Inviting Jada Cheeves and Des Dior, people known more for Instagram popularity and messy celebrity drama than anything remotely sports-related, was a sharp left turn from the show's original vibe. The podcast had built a following through real basketball discussions and compelling athlete interviews. But this episode? It played more like a reality show audition. All relationship standards and luxury lifestyle talk. Zero basketball. Fans who tuned in expecting court talk ended up getting schooled on sugar dating.
Reese's podcast featured reality stars Jada Cheeves and Des Doria? I don't know. I don't even care. Who discussed their experiences on season 1 of BET's The Impact Atlanta, as well as their candid views on online criticism, dating, and careers.
But the content wasn't just off. It felt like clickbait. This didn't feel like the fierce, basketball-focused Angel Reese fans fell in love with Back at LSU. This version seemed way more interested in chasing social media attention than building something meaningful. And the fans didn't hold back. I feel like she's forgetting why we started rooting for her, one fan wrote. This ain't it. I came for basketball, not love and hip-hop, another added. This misstep did real damage, and her audience wasn't shy about walking away.
Their, quote, issue regarding relationships. As for Reese, she mentioned men's insecurities when it comes to women earning a higher income than their partners. Is that still a thing? That still bothers people? Okay. Quote, a lot of men don't also like women. My God, the grammar. What the bleep? A lot of men don't also like women that got their own. My God, folks. You read quotes from her, your IQ points just melt away.
This podcast debacle shined a spotlight on how out of touch she's become with the people who originally supported her. She assumed her fans would roll with the format change. They didn't. What they saw was someone who traded basketball grit for influencer fluff.
Following the interview, fans expressed their dismay over the responses they gave about money and relationships, feeling it overshadowed other important topics. Quote, they said a lot of nothing. The responses are dumb.
And the numbers? absolutely brutal. This show once had the backing of Shaquille O'Neal's major podcast network, high-level production, celebrity guests, and a ton of reach. Now, episodes can't break 70 views, and that wasn't just a one-time drop. It became a consistent trend. The excitement that once surrounded Unapologetically Angel turned into silence and unsubscribes.
Another person added, quote, "This is like the one podcast where 3 kids judge food they haven't eaten, laugh out loud." The same goes for a commenter who said, "Losing brain cells listening to this podcast." I just said IQ points were literally melting away from my brain pan as we speak.
In today's social media landscape, losing attention is one thing, but watching your most loyal basketball fans completely check out? That's another level. People who used to have her back are now flooding the comments asking, "What happened to the Hooper we loved?"
Angel, all these women out here doing phenomenal things, but you choose rappers' girlfriends to interview just really throws me. That's a hell of a good comment.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is on an upward rocket ride. Every video she drops hits millions of views, and every court she steps on gets sold out. The comparison? Painfully obvious. Reese was supposed to be right next to her, a flag bearer for the new generation of women's basketball. Instead, she's explaining why nobody's listening to her anymore. And the decline didn't happen overnight. It was a slow erosion of connection. That one tone-deaf episode just brought it all crashing down. This will probably be remembered for years as a textbook example of how not to shift your brand. Because once your fans feel unheard, it doesn't take much for them to walk away.
We have to pull up her podcast, man, because y'all might think I'm lying. I am not lying. This is not clickbait at all, guys. So as we pull up the Unapologetically Angel podcast, I mean, hell, she just released the episode 10 minutes ago. It got 66 views. This one right here got 781 views.
Angel Reese's podcast isn't just underperforming, it's in free fall. She couldn't even break 5,000 views across a full week. That's not a typo. We're talking about a nationally recognized WNBA athlete with tons of media buzz, endorsement deals, and a massive fan base carried over from her college days. And yet, her followers couldn't even be bothered to hit play. That's not a slump, it's a full-on crash.
People ain't feeling them, bruh. I mean, damn. I mean, Angel Reese haven't got over 5,000 views in over a week, dog.
What makes it sting even more is how fast the downfall came. This wasn't a slow burn. It was a sudden drop-off. Her engagement numbers fell like a blocked shot that never left the paint. 1 minute, she had a consistent, if modest, base of loyal listeners, and the next, it all vanished, and it wasn't subtle either. The moment she dropped that now infamous episode, packed with awkward commentary and reality TV fluff, the bottom completely dropped out.
And it seemed like everything went downhill after this interview, bruh. I can't even lie. But it's looking like it's been going downhill since before this damn interview. I can't even lie to you. It's looking like Kennedy Carter DJ Nate Carrington might be her biggest view.
The fallout wasn't just dramatic, it was brutal. Industry watchers estimate her viewership plummeted by over 90% almost instantly. That's insane. Imagine putting in all that effort, lining up guests, creating episodes, promoting your brand, just to see everyone bail in a matter of days. This wasn't passive disinterest. Fans were unsubscribing, unfollowing, straight up disassociating from her brand. And the message they were sending? Crystal clear. We feel let down.
If you're going in terms of breaking it up, but damn, dog, it ain't looking good for Angel, bruh. Now, I just wanted to show y'all the numbers to show y'all I wasn't clickbaiting or picking on Angel.
Even with the support of Shaq's major podcast network, sleek editing, and professional production, it wasn't enough to save the show. You can throw all the money and resources at a product, but if the creator loses touch with their core audience, that's game over.
She's had a lot of like rappers and these what I call D-list celebrities, which is the reality TV show. That's a D-list celebrity. They're not an actual celebrity, really and truly. It's not like they won American Idol, right?
The stats don't lie. They scream. Angel's audience didn't want gossip about celebrity dating lives or Instagram fame. They didn't want shallow convos or flashy names with zero substance. They wanted basketball. They wanted raw insight. Real talk. Stories from the hardwood. They wanted the Angel Reese who fought through adversity at LSU, who inspired a generation, not the Instagram version. Instead, they got fluff. And to them, it felt like betrayal.
A social media user left a harsh comment, wrote the least informative podcast on earth. Yikes.
And just when you thought the damage couldn't get worse, she nuked her own credibility. When fans began voicing concern, hoping for better content or just a shift back to basketball, she didn't explain herself. She didn't try to listen. Nope, she fired back on Twitter.
Then said she took to X and pretty much let the fans know how she was feeling. Let's pull up the tweet right now. This is the tweet right here. Angel Reese stated, "This is my podcast. Shut the F up. You don't watch. Thank you."
Yep, that was her actual tweet. Think about that for a second. She could have taken that moment to say, hey, I'm trying out new content. Appreciate your patience. More basketball convos coming soon. That would have been a simple fix. But instead, she chose to pour fuel on the fire. And that tweet, it came right before the media began running with the story about her crumbling podcast numbers. Boom. PR disaster complete. The backlash kept coming. Fans didn't forget about that The Baby interview that mysteriously never aired. That situation got dragged back into the spotlight too.
Check out the comments. This one stated, you scrapped The Baby. This one too. So fans is definitely still bringing up that The Baby interview, which that one never came out. She received harsh criticism from her fan base for that specific interview as well.
Now, Angel's social feeds have become battlegrounds. Fans who once rode hard for her are now questioning everything, from her brand to her mindset. One comment summed up the shift perfectly. We are the shareholders of your content. If you can't handle the criticism, get off the mic. That wasn't trolling. That was heartbreak. From people who genuinely cared about her growth and voice. And now people are asking, can she still book good guests?
Can she get good guests on her podcast? That's another thing. A lot of these WNBA players have come on there, but you got to wonder how many of them are actually really in demand, right?
And of course, like clockwork, the Caitlin Clark comparisons started flooding in again. Fans pointed out that Clark, who hasn't even launched a podcast yet, already understands how to connect with people far better than Reese does. Some joked that if Clark ever decided to create a show, it would instantly eclipse Unapologetically Angel, simply because she wouldn't alienate her audience. And it kept spiraling. Fans started literally begging Angel to bring on guests who had something real to say, leaders in business, sports, coaching, or media. Instead, they got influencer energy and TikTok chatter. One person said it best, with so many powerful women out there, you chose to highlight rapper girlfriends. For real?
I don't understand. What is the value of bringing rappers' girlfriends on to have a conversation with them? That one person's right. Why would you not want to platform people that has something meaningful to talk about? This person said, why not platform other successful women that's actually done some things? Not a bad question.
And behind the scenes, the whispers were getting louder. People in media started speculating. Is Angel even serious about staying in the league? Or is she pivoting full-time to influencer life? Some folks in the content game summed it up bluntly. She's not focused on basketball anymore. She's chasing paparazzi flashes and internet clout. And the worst part? All of this mess could have easily been avoided. One good sit-down with a PR coach would have changed the whole course. They would have told her to acknowledge her fans, explain that she was experimenting with content, and reassure them that more hoop-related episodes were coming. A respectful pivot, that's all it would have taken. Instead, she lit the whole thing on fire with a blowtorch.
You two, go subscribe at your own damn peril at this point. That's saying something when, look, you gotta go seek out her podcast on an app, then subscribe to it, decide you want to listen to it, and then you've made it this far, and you're like, nah, I'm tapping out of this horse shit. It's terrible.
And here's the thing. The real damage isn't even in the podcast metrics. It's what this does to her brand overall. When athletes lose the trust of their audience, the ripple effect is massive. Sponsors take a step back. Brands start second-guessing partnerships. Teammates notice when the fan energy changes. When applause turns to boos, you've got a real problem. This whole saga? It's a case study in what not to do when you're building a public platform. And let's not forget, this wasn't a rookie mistake. Angel Reese had a top-tier launch setup. Her podcast had major production support, high-profile promo, and the full backing of Shaquille O'Neal's media company. Yet somehow, it all unraveled because Angel lost sight of the people who made her famous in the first place.
Is the shtick for Angel Reese, is it starting to wear thin? Is the faucet of Angel Reese's celebrity starting to slowly slow down? Question mark? You got a one?
Now brands are going to reassess. Do they want to invest in someone who tells her fans to shut up when things go south? Are they going to keep betting on a face that lashes out at her own supporters? Those are tough conversations, and Angel might not like the answers. If you're an athlete watching this unfold, let it be a wake-up call. Building a brand in today's world isn't just about popularity. It's about staying real. It's about respecting the people who got you here. It's about listening, adjusting, and connecting. Here's the bottom line. When fans feel heard, they'll ride for you no matter what. But when they feel ignored or disrespected, they'll vanish just as fast as they came. Angel Reese had it all. The audience, the stage, the spotlight. What she didn't have? Connection. And in the digital age, you can't fake that. Agree or disagree? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. Click the video on screen to catch the next update. We'll see you there.